This is the Great Bowl Football Show, presented by Gate City Bank.
This is a great atmosphere. That's a compliment to this community. It's a compliment to this university, compliment to the administration, the marketing people, coaching staff. You know, they have a good situation here, doing very well. You know, Craig Bohl's a good football coach, and you guys need to go ahead and give that man a lifetime contract here. He's the real deal, and he's done a good job recruiting. He's a good person, and he's got himself a good football team.
Soak that up, Bison Nation. That is compliments from Youngstown State head coach Eric Wolford. And Coach, how does it make you feel to hear a guy, after you thoroughly beat him 48-7, to compliment the city, the program, and yourself like that?
Well, he's a really well-respected football coach, and I want to say thanks for the compliments that he gave. The facts are they've got a really good football team, and he knows it. And you know, we could end up seeing those guys again, and I hope that we do.
In your wildest dreams, did you ever anticipate the game would play out like it did?
No, not really. We felt like if we played well, Jeremy, going into the game, that we'd have an opportunity to win, but never did I think that there would be that lopsided of a score. You know, I think that was probably as good a football game as what we've played since I can remember.
Oh, it's really fun. Youngstown State and NDSU 1 versus 3. An unbelievable atmosphere at the Fargo Dome. Let's break down this first half for you. See how this thing played out. It was a great atmosphere at the Tunnel Walk. You can see the lights were flashing, the crowd was loud, and right away the crowd had an impact on this takeaway.
Well, you know, we certainly appreciate our fans, and it is a really exciting place to play. And here you can see a turnover the very first play has a huge impact, and our students are going nuts, and we appreciate all our students showing up.
Almost gave it back to him right here, though.
You know what, I talked to Brock about ball security. Sometimes as a quarterback, you begin to take off, and you need to tuck the ball away. And we're fortunate here. It's a good, I think, alert play. I believe that's, I don't know who came up with a fumble, but it was great to come up with a fumble.
You do finish this off, make them pay for that turnover. It's 7-0. The crowd's really into it now.
Well, it's always great to get off to a fast start. We have a slogan, start strong and finish stronger, and we started fast.
Now, Youngstown State still feeling good about themselves. They come right back. They have a good offense.
Well, they have an excellent offense, and their quarterback has played very well traditionally, and a lot of weapons, and we knew we were going to be challenged defensively.
What is this play here? It's like an option pass, maybe.
Well, it certainly is. It's part of Urban Meyer's offense with Tim Peebo, and they do a great job spreading you out and getting your athletes on one-on-one situations.
Hey, on film and on paper, this Jermaine Cook is a really good running back.
Excellent running back. Good change of direction here. He finds a crease, and they're deep in our territory.
Credit the Penguins. 3rd and goal at the 1. They end up scoring a touchdown here. It's 7-7 right now.
Well, you know, when we get a good rush, but you can see the poise and composure by their quarterback finding the open receiver after we flushed him out of the pocket.
Now, the story of the game in this ball game was the 3rd down conversions. This is a 3rd and 7. This started a great day on 3rd down.
Well, there's a collection of things that are going right for us. Our offensive line is protecting well. Brock's throwing the ball well, and our receivers are doing a great job catching the football.
Derek Lang was your number 2 back. He did a nice job.
Well, Langer's a tough guy, toting the leather here and moving the chains.
Little bag of tricks here. The flea flicker goes for a big play and really makes the dome explode.
Well, you know, I understand that this has been turned in as one of the top 10 ESPN plays of the day, and
yep.
Great call by Brent Vegan. Brock put the ball right on the money, and to Zach Raw, and another touchdown.
You know, and that's a momentum play right there that can really change things, isn't it?
Well, it was a big play, and we're getting ready to see another big play coming up here. You can see Youngstown's got us off our heels a little bit. Quarterback does a nice job throwing the ball to an open receiver, and once again, Youngstown's deep in our territory, Jeremy.
But big players make big plays, and here's Marcus right here.
You know what, Marcus does a great job in zone coverage. He's able to see the quarterback's eyes, and he's got a great knack for baiting a quarterback. And then what you can see, too, is he's a tremendous athlete. I don't know if I've ever seen a player have more of an impact in a game from a defensive position.
That's an All-American play right there. He does it time after time again. 21-7. That really changed the game around. Now, again, another 3rd down conversion. Brock Jensen to Ryan Smith, who played very well in this game.
Well, you know what, a good job protection by our offensive line. Brock put the ball right on the money, and a great catch by Ryan right before he was getting clobbered by 2 Youngstown State defenders.
Hey, John Crockett was not 100%, but boy, he really gutted it out.
No, he really was. And going into the game, we didn't know whether he was going to be able to play or not, and he did fairly well.
Crockett finishes it off here with a touchdown. 28-7, and you're really putting them on it at this point.
Well, to be up by 21 points here, I was surprised and felt like they had a great offense. We're going to need to continue to play well on defense, and we certainly did here. As you can see, Carlton Littlejohn coming up with an interception right before half.
You know, and that was a big play because right here, it's about a minute left in the half. You have a 3rd and 10, and you go to the pass play here to Ryan Smith. This is a really good throw by Brock Jensen.
Great throw, great catch. That's a finesse throw, and you can see Ryan maneuvered his way around, got 1 foot down, and came up and to put us up, I believe, by 28 points going into halftime, right before half. Big momentum swing.
35-7 at halftime. Wow, that was about a perfect half by the Bison. Jensen was 9 of 15. Smith had 67 yards receiving. The 3rd down conversions, you can see it. NDSU, 6 of 7. That's a little foreshadowing for what was to come in the second half. This week on the Bison hot seat, one of the defensive stars, Cole Jurek. What is the most painful injury you've ever had?
Probably like when I separated my AC joint.
Ouch.
Yeah.
You prefer fruit or vegetables?
Fruit for sure.
What is more important, television or the internet?
It's a tough one. I would have to say TV.
Favorite season, spring, summer, fall, or winter?
Fall is when football season starts, so.
If you could have an endless supply of food, what would it be?
I have to choose pasta.
Nice.
Love pasta.
How many dates would you go on before you introduced this person to your parents? Your parents are probably watching.
I have to pick probably like 4 or 5.
There you go. What was your favorite cartoon as a kid?
Rugrats.
If you owned a yacht, what would you name it?
Levon Perry.
What's your worst personality trait?
Probably my sarcasm.
Okay. If you could snap your fingers and appear somewhere else, where would it be?
Probably somewhere on vacation, just wherever I wanted to go on vacation.
Nice. Coach, 35-7 at halftime. You really don't have to make too many adjustments. What were you talking about at halftime?
Well, we felt like it was important to keep on playing well. You know, football can be a game of a lot of ups and downs. The most important series of a whole game is the first series of the second half. We needed to come out and reestablish that momentum, keep our edge.
Let's roll the second half, and that first drive was a statement drive for NDSU. They came out, got some points out of it, but was a real effective drive, really ate up the clock, didn't it?
Well, we used up half the 3rd quarter and, and got a field goal. I know Coach Vegan was upset we didn't get a touchdown, but I looked and started to say, okay, you know, with that point spread and that amount of time burned off the clock, it was going to be difficult for Youngstown State to come back and beat us.
This one goes to Zach Bra. The protection for Brock was really good throughout the whole drive.
Scott Cooks and that offensive line have done a phenomenal job during the course of the year, and you know what, they protected Brock. Brock puts the ball on the money, and our receivers doing a great job catching the football.
That was a 13-yarder to Trevor Gebhardt on 3rd and 4. Now, Adam Keller, this is a great kick.
Well, Adam's done a nice job, and actually he's got a sprained hamstring, so that kick, with that type of hamstring, really shows a lot about his intestinal fortitude.
You know, I thought something that really played out in the game, too, was the speed on defense, especially outside linebacker with Littlejohn and Beck, and you see Beck right here.
Well, probably the biggest component that we've added through the years with our defense is our speed. A lot of our guys can run, particularly the running backs or the linebackers.
Exclamation point right here. This is really a backbreaker for Youngstown State.
Well, as Scotty Miller may say, this is the dagger. And great job of blocking, an excellent job by Ryan Smith with finding his way. And that had a huge impact in the game. You can see us up 45-7 right now.
I thought another key was you really got in the head of Kurt Hess, who's a very good quarterback. We want to emphasize how good he is, but you really had him rattled. He makes a completion here, but he was off his game.
Well, he's an excellent quarterback, and he's really operated their offense well, and they've got a lot of confidence in him, and I think it's a great credit to our defensive guys to get that quarterback out of his comfort zone here. I believe this is a 4th down play, and you can see Carlton Littlejohn once again utilizing the speed that he has.
He really closed on that play. Now, closing it out here, you're still trying to get some flow here. Brock Jensen still in the ball game. He hits Trevor Gebhardt, who's really turned into a great receiver.
Really has, and this comes off a run action that we have. Everybody says run up the middle, and we have a play action pass, and here you can see Adam Keller come in and come up with another field goal.
And that was the last points of the game, 48-7. Here you're going out to congratulate Eric Wolford and probably wish him luck on the rest of the season, and they got some pieces to pick up after this one. 48-7. What a statement by the #1 team in the country. Jensen 15-23. Crockett goes for 100 for the 2nd straight week. Grant Olson continues to rack up tackles. Youngstown State, 49 total yards of offense in the second half. Let's hear what the players had to say after the game.
You know, today we were clicking on all cylinders. You know, special teams, offense, defense, we were clicking, and I think we know how good of a football team we can be if we play clean football, and that's what we did, and it was a big win.
Well, I guess it was it was an entire team effort. Everybody involved on the defense. I know they had a couple drives where they got some yards on us. Turnovers was huge. Interception by Marcus gave us a lot of momentum that helped. And then Carlton there at the end of the half, so the offense could get another touchdown. Really put it away. That helped a lot. I know we gave them a couple stuff with some penalties and things like that, some things we can clean up and work on. You know, we can always get a lot better, but overall I thought we played very well.
Yeah, we came out the gate hot, just like we wanted to, just like we talked about doing, and we were able to establish the tempo of the game and really just kind of play how we wanted to play it. And I thought that was important for us to do early on, and you know, it was a good job by our guys.
Great comments by the players. And, Coach, there were some anxious moments this week. John Crockett, about midweek, Wednesday, I guess, in practice, came up with an injured groin a little bit. You didn't have Sam Ojuri. Suddenly you're getting into that depth chart at running back, and you didn't know if John was going to be able to go, did you?
No, we really felt like it was going to be 50-50 at best. The type of injury he had was going to be something that could really hurt a running back, and so John was able to reach down and did it. As you can see, the numbers did a great job each week. He continues to go out there and compete. But we've got a lot of confidence within our football team, Jeremy. There's a lot of guys to go out, and you know, who's ever on the field, we've got a lot of confidence in that they can go out there and put out a winning performance.
Let's talk about the third down conversions. That's a winning element to football. If you compete on third down and you convert on third down, you're going to win a lot of football games, and it shows. NDSU leads the nation in third down conversions, and you see these top 5 teams. They're all very, very good teams, probably playoff teams, so that stat really bears out to be important.
Our offense really talks about that a lot. To be able to stay on the field is so important, and you've got to be able to do that through an offensive line. You've got to be able to do that by not putting yourself in bad positions a lot, and then be able to run the football and pass the football. So it's a collection of a lot of things. You can stay on the field on third down. That time of possession shifts to you. It takes a load off your defense, and your scoring opportunities go significantly up.
The Bison also lead the nation in total defense by 62 yards a game, a big gap between 1 and 2, also a very important stat. Let's break down the flea flicker play. It was such an important momentum changer. Was this a situation where you had this in your back pocket, you knew you'd use it on this particular game, or how did that bear out?
Well, we've been practicing it for a while. Coach Vegan has implemented that in our offense, and it's one of those things you just don't all of a sudden on Thursday decide you're going to do this. There's a lot of timing. But we were running the ball pretty effectively and got their safeties up on a run, and you can see Zach slip behind him. As soon as we saw the ball get flipped back, everybody said it's a touchdown, it's gold, and you can see Brock put the ball right on the money to Zach.
That's kind of a timing play, too. The toss from Crockett back to Brock has to be good, so you can tell they'd practiced it a lot, huh?
Well, you know what? And if many people can remember those old days of the Minnesota Vikings going against the Dallas Cowboys, that was Roger Staubach and Tom Landry. That play was called Fire Dallas back then.
Hey, how about the interception by Marcus Williams? The thing that struck me about this play is Marcus starts in man coverage, then he kind of falls into a flat, almost a zone. You see Marcus at the top of the screen here. He lets his man go and baits the quarterback.
Well, Marcus is an excellent, got a lot of savvy and great intuition, and we were playing zone there. He made it appear like he was in man, baited the quarterback, and came up with a big pick, and you can see there's nobody around other than Andre Martin all the way to the end zone. Huge play in the game. Anytime you get a pick six, it's huge, but that was 99 yards, I believe.
Yeah. How about Marcus Williams? We talk about it every week, but just a game changer. And what do you think his best aspect is? Is it covering? Is it run support? What do you think he does best?
Well, I think the best thing he can do is really play the football, and he's got great instincts, and he's got size and strength, all the things that would lend himself to be a great NFL cornerback. And he's got a lot of confidence. He goes out to practice every day. He's a very diligent, very conscientious young man, and he's been making plays. What he did Saturday, he's been doing that the whole time he's been here.
Yeah, you're right. Marcus Williams, a terrific football player. Coming up, the offensive line starting to gel a little bit, and that's all because they have a senior leader at center, Joe Lund, and he gets his tips from home as well. We'll have that story for you coming up. Welcome back to the show. Every offensive line needs a leader, someone who has been through the battles, can help the younger players believe in themselves. The Bison have that in senior Joe Lund. Jamal Spencer takes a deeper look into this mature man who has turned into a great football player.
In the 4 years that he's been a member of the program, arguably no player has matured like center Joe Lund.
Joe has come along far enough where he can certainly put all 5 guys on the same page out there. And I'll be honest, I asked him to do that a lot more this year than we ever have.
It's me, Ricky Hagan, and Ty Beckius are the only guys left from the class of 2008. So with those 2 guys, it's perseverance. Mostly I look at it, I mean, we see a ton of young guys, class of 2009, 2010, 2011, sticking around. For us, it's just, you know, you stay here, you win.
Lund has taken control on the offensive line and become a true leader, a process he can thank his hairstylist for. Yes, his hairstylist, his wife Whitney. The two have been married for a year and a half and have known each other since their sophomore year of high school.
I just get really excited and really, like, I'm his #1 fan and very supportive, so. But I like it. I like being a part of the football team, even though I'm not practicing or getting yelled at. I'm more proud of him because he takes this, you know, very seriously, and he, you know, he's a hard worker, and obviously it's paying off. So, I don't know, it's different. I like it. I like seeing him play. I like seeing, like, the hard work.
Joe says after getting chewed out at practice, he enjoys coming home and sharing his learning moments with Whitney, adding that it's helped make him a better player on the field and a better man off of it.
It's always a joke. What does your wife think about that? What does your wife think? And, you know, I just kind of tell them the truth, what she thinks about some things, and kind of the jokes on the team, or, you know, what the team is looking for this week. And so I kind of fill her in. She's pretty sports-oriented, I guess.
For the Craig Bowl Football Show, I'm Jamal Spencer.
And I can verify she can cut 2-year-old hair as well. My son went in there and she cut his hair, and that was a handful for her. But talk about Joe Lund. What a mature guy he is.
He certainly is, and he mentioned something that's interesting. We've got a young football team. We have very few seniors, and he's providing great leadership. He's one of our senior captains, and you know, it's been a maturation process with Joe, and it's really great to see him not only become a great football player, but a great leader.
And you have a couple of redshirt freshmen starting on that offensive line. They need a guy like Joe, don't they?
Well, an old senior vet like him really helps calm sometimes in some really chaotic situations. And Joe's got a way about him just to encourage those young guys to really bring out the best in them. And that's what good leaders do.
And that's a story right there told that, you know, not a lot of fans know about. These guys go through a lot. I mean, he's married off the field. He's trying to do classes, you know, I mean, and all this stuff, managing and all that stuff. I don't think the general public knows what these guys go through from a schedule standpoint.
No, it's really different. You know, they're not, you know, they don't have as much latitude, as much time as a lot of other college students, and they are students. And we're really proud of the fact to see how they've done, not so much on the field, but all the things off the field.
Coming up, we have our future crop of Bison, our Nodak Mutual Insurance Player of the Game, and we're also going to talk about the standings, kind of go over the state of things right now as far as the nation goes. Stay with us. This week's Peterson Farm Seed Future Crop of Bison segment gives us a classic moment, a legendary one-liner. The player is redshirt freshman defensive tackle Brian Schatz. Schatzy, as his teammates call him, is a powerhouse young player. The redshirt freshman is 6'1", 281, and country strong now. Brian grew up on a dairy farm in Wisconsin, which leads to a very funny recap of how he ended up at NDSU.
Came in, saw some really good defensive linemen, Matt Grotzik and Matt Phillips. And I was like, I'd like to be one of those guys someday. And I actually committed when I was in milking cows one day. I just was talking to my dad, and I'm like, Dad, you think I should go to North Dakota State? And he's like, because he went on the tour with me, and I'm like, God, I'd love to be a Bison and all that. And he's like, tell him that you're going to go there.
You benefited from that trip to the barn that day, didn't you?
Certainly did. I asked him how you got so strong, Brian, or we call him Schatz. He goes, Coach, I got that way by pushing those cows. It's hard to move those guys.
Great story. This week's Nodak Mutual Insurance Player of the Game is crowd favorite Ryan Smith of Wahpeton, North Dakota. Ryan had a career day, caught 7 passes for 82 yards and a score. Also returned a punt, 76 yards for a touchdown. After battling injuries, Ryan Smith is once again healthy and once again flashing that $1 million smile.
You know, it's good to get back out there and start feeling healthy too. I mean, this is the best I've felt in a long time. Hamstring's starting to finally come around, but yeah, see green grass out there and it's blocked up right. It's a lot of fun scoring touchdowns.
Oh, I think Ryan does have a lot of fun out there, especially on that punt return. Let's look at the standings now. And Illinois State lost this past weekend. That was a bit of a surprise. They got shut out at home, but the Bison sitting in great position in the Valley right now.
Well, you know, pretty competitive races going on, and you can see some really solid football teams, and you can see us in South Dakota State coming down the stretch here for the border marker.
And you can see around the nation, there's only 7 undefeated teams that are playoff eligible right now, so that list is shrinking. There's 2 that have really separated themselves. NDSU and Cal Poly both have that FBS win, both have all Division I wins and are undefeated, but there's 7 undefeated teams out there, so there's some good football teams out there.
Well, there certainly are, and you know, quite frankly, I've not looked at the national map like you have, Jeremy. Yep. We're looking so much at our conference, but good teams in our conference, and there's some good teams out there, but we're playing well right now.
Now, Indiana State is up this week for the Bison, and that means Shakir Bell is coming to Fargo, and he's a terrific football player.
Well,
I think he might have got injured this week. We'll have to check his status, but he's a great running back.
He's a great running back and a good program. Trent Miles has done a good job with the Sycamores. We've had competitive games the last couple of years. You know what? We're expecting another great game in the Valley. You better be bringing your A game. Somebody's going to go down.
All right, Bison fans, enjoy it. The Bison are undefeated, ranked #1 in the country, and they are on a roll. We'll see you at the Gate City Bank Field at the Fargo Dome next week. Have a great week.
Terry,